Welcome to our today's class. In this very video, we shall be looking at one of the Signali di pericolo. So this very one is simply known as Segnali di Dosso. Il segnale di Dosso. In English, this simply means a sign of hump on the road. A sign which represents hump on the road. When we are talking about humps, we are simply saying that a road that has some hills and the slopes. So this is where you can easily find this kind of sign, and is a pericolo sign. The word pericolo simply means a danger sign. So it's always placed on the road that has that has a slopes, hills, and a host of others. But the particular word used for it in English is called hump, H-U-M-P. So now let's move to the definitions of this very sign. Now it says il segnale di dosso stradale è un cartello di pericolo che viene utilizzato per indicare una anomalia altimetrica convessa della strada che limita la visibilità del conducente. Now, what he's trying to say here is that this very sign of hump on the road is a sign of danger, which is pericolo. Whenever you come across this word pericolo means danger. Stradale is the road, dosso is the hump that we are talking about here. He said this sign is used to indicate the danger of hump on the way. So he said della strada che limita la visibilità del conducente. So what he's trying to say here, is trying to say that on this very road, the ability for the driver to see far, is nowhere guaranteed. Because of the situation of that road, because of the condition of that road, there is a poor visibility for the driver. Whenever you come across this very word conducente simply means driver. You that is driving a car, you are known as the conducente. So now this is the sign we are talking about. No, is one of the segnali di pericolo, one of the sign of danger. So whenever you come across this very sign, it simply says that in 150 meters away from this sign, you are going to encounter this very thing that is inside. This one is a hump, no, a hill. So you are going to come across this very thing. So he's trying to warn you ahead. So that is the reason why they call it a danger sign. Now let's move forward to see what it really talks about. He said, il segnale viene posto di norma 150. Now, he said this very sign is always placed at 150 meters away from this very description. So whenever you come across this very sign, or whenever you come across any sign of pericolo or something like this, so he's trying to tell you, he's warning you ahead, you as a driver, that you should, have it in back of your mind or stay attentive that in 150 meters away from this very sign, you as a driver, you are going to encounter something like this. You are going to come across something like this. It's a warning sign ahead of dangers. So now let's move on. He said, 150 mentre prima di dosso segnale. So the sign is found before this very word, this very sign, this very condition of the road. He said, il segnale una condizione di pericolo dovuta alla scarsa visibilità. So it's a danger sign which affects the visibility of the driver on that particular road. So there is one thing you should also take note of. Now let's move on. He said, in questo segnale, now take note of this one. He said, dovuto ad una salita che procede una discesa. Now there are two things here, and I want you to consider this and this very one, where you have this salita and where you have this discesa. You know, in any mountain, there is always two things. You have the climbing side and you also have the word where you will come down. Now, if you look at this very sign, you can see it. This is a mountain. Let me use the word mountain, but in English it's known as hump. But let me use mountain so that you understand better. If you look at it, you see that it has a climbing point. From this place, from this axis down to this place, this is the salita. To climb simply means, you know, you have salit. In Italian, what they call it salit. Salit simply, to salit simply means you are climbing. While from here down to this place, it means that you are coming down. By coming down simply means what you are that is the chaser. So it has two things that you need to know: salita and the chaser. Now let's move on. He said comunque è una variazione della pendenza del percorso. Now, so he's also saying that no, this very one is variazione. So is different from the other side, but above all, it still remains one of the signal of pericolo. Now let's move on. He say, in presenza del segnale di dosso stradale è necessario moderare la velocità. Now, he's saying that in this very sign of danger, you as a driver, or in Italian was known as conducente, so he said it's very necessary for you to, to let your velocity to be moderate. In other words, you need to reduce your speed, and you need to stay very attentive. He said, è assolutamente vietato invasione di marcia. Whenever you come across this word, vietata simply means forbidding. Something that is forbidden. Something that is what? Forbidden. Take note of that word. He said, assolutamente vietata invasione di marcia. Invasione di marcia simply means what? Revise or U-turn. And he said that on this particular road that have this very sign, or that have this very condition, you as a driver, the conducente, he said you are not permitted or allowed to what? To revise. You are not permitted to what? To revise. The road does not grant you as a driver to what? To revise. Now he also tells about another thing. Now he's looking at the forbidden things on this very condition of the road. He said anche è vietato un attimo. He said anche è vietato sostare. Okay, now there is another thing again. Another thing that this very sign also forbid. It also forbid parking. Whenever you come and cross this word sostare simply means parking. Sostare simply means what? Parking. Some of the things that this very sign forbids. Number one is it does not what? Permit revise. And number two, it does not permit what? Parking. Now, another thing that it also forbids is what? Is a or fermarsi sul tratto di salita e discesa. Now, he said it does not also permit what? Stopping. In aspect of trying to climb it and in aspect of trying to come down. Take note of these very two words, is very much important. Salita e discesa. Salita simply means climbing. Discesa simply means what? Coming down. When you are climbing the hill, it means salita. When you are coming down from that hill, it means what? Discesa. And he's trying to say that on that particular road that has this very condition, you as a driver, you are not permitted to what? To sosta. To sosta simply means to park. And you as a driver, you are not also permitted to what? To ferma. To ferma simply means what? To stop. He says another one again, anche è vietato il sorpasso. The word sorpasso simply means what? To overtake. He says on this very road that has this very condition, you as a driver, you are not also permitted to overtake. you are not also permitted to what? To overtake. Be in the aspect of the climbing or in the aspect of the coming down. And he also said there is one thing I want you to take note of. He said, il sorpasso sulla tratto in salita se la strada è doppio senso di circolazione con due sole corsie. Now, he's trying to say that on this very road, you are not permitted to overtake. But in some situation, you are permitted to overtake. In the sense that, take for instance, if the road is a sensor unico that has two-way, that has two exits of transition, you are permitted to overtake. You can only overtake in the aspect of what? Of when you are coming down. If the road is sensor unico, you are permitted to overtake. But if the road is doppio sensor, you are not permitted to overtake. In our last video, we also consider this very term. The major types of road that we have doppio sensor and sensor unico. I explained everything in my last video. That sensor unico simply means one lane. Doppio sensor simply means what? Double lane. When you are talking about double lane, it means that you as a driver, as you are driving on that road, there is also another motor coming from your front. So in a situation like this, in this condition, you are not permitted to what? To overtake in that kind of road. But if the road is a sensor unico that have two or three axis of transition, so you are permitted to what? To overtake. Now we have some questions to quickly consider based on this very topic. So the first question says, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia un dosso. It tries to say that this very sign is simply what? Pronounce or represent a hump, and which is vero, and it's true. In our lesson, we said that this very sign, it means what? A sign of what? Pericolo. And at the same time, it's trying to describe or represent what? A hump. And the answer is vero. Now, the number two, it says, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia un tratto di strada pericoloso per limitata visibilità. Now, this sign is trying to say that the road is, this very sign that we are talking about here, is a sign of pericolo, a sign of danger. And is try to what? Is try to to describe the danger of that road. And he's trying to say that on this very road, there is this kind of what? The road is on this condition. And because of this condition, you as a driver, your far view or the ability for you to see far is no guarantee. So you as a driver, the ability for you to see far is no guarantee. In this kind of road, there is a poor visibility. That is what he's trying to talk about, which is vero and is true. Another one again says, il segnale raffigurato è posto di norma 150 metri prima di un dosso. Now, this very sign, is all this very road that has this condition. This sign is always placed at 150 meters away before the something that is trying to describe. Now, whenever you come across this very sign of pericolo, every sign of pericolo is always placed as what? As at 150 meters away from the condition. But in some situation, they will add more to it. So in that one they call it previso. So they may say in 300, but in the recent is always found in 150 meters away from this very sign. So, and the answer is what is vero. He said, in presenza di segnale raffigurato bisogna considerare che la visibilità è limitata. Now, he's trying to tell you that you as a driver, you need to consider that your ability to see very far is not guaranteed. You have a poor visibility there because the road is in the condition of hills and slopes, and is vero. He said, il segnale raffigurato, this sign that is referred, he pronounced una salita. He said, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia una salita. He said, this sign that is referred, it pronounced a what? Salita simply means a place to climb. Eseguita de una discesa. It also proceed with another exit where you will come down, and it's vero. So during my lesson, I explained something like this. I said, if you look at it, this one is a hill, is a mountain home. You have where you climb. From here to here is salita by climbing. The chairs are from here to here simply means you are coming down, which is what? Which is vero. And another one again say il segnale raffigurato pronuncia una variazione di pendenza della strada con limitata visibilità. È vero. This sign that we are talking about is another sign. Is another sign which represents that what there is a poor visibility on this very road, and it's vero. Another one again, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia una cuneta. This word cuneta is another segnale di pericolo. This one is a segnale di Dosso. It is not a segnale di cuneta. Segnale di cuneta, we are trying to say a road that has some tombs. A road where you have some little holes. So it's different from this very one. This one is a he. So, and the answer is false, because this one is not this very sign is not a cuneta. Is a sign of Dosso, segnale di Dosso. And this answer is what is false. Number 8, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia un tratto di strada deformata. Il segnale raffigurato pronuncia un tratto di strada deformata. A road that, when we say tratto di strada deformata, we are trying to say that a road that is disformed. The word deformed, a road that has bad condition, where you have holes, where you have gallops, and a host of others. And this one is not saying that. The sign represents a road that have hills, humps. So the answer is what is false. And number 9, it says, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia un tratto di strada in cattivo stato. Un tratto di strada in cattivo stato. Now, this sign that we said that is not a segnale di Dosso. Now, in this very sign, not that the road is that too bad, no. But the only problem there is that in this road you are going to see something like he. And this answer is saying that is a type of road that in the state of what? In a bad state. No. It only says that it affects the visibility of that driver because of the condition of the road. The condition is the sense that on this very road is a mountain. You know, whenever you are driving on the road that has a mountain, there is no way that you'll be able to see the other side, not until you climb it. So, and this one is false. He said, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia un tratto di strada con pavimentazione irregola. Now, whenever you come across this word pavimentazione, it simply means that the tie road, the normal tie road. And he said that the tie road is irregular, that you as a driver is driving. No, it's not irregular. The tie road is it only has what? Short view of visibility. The road it only requires you as a driver to slow down. Now it's not that the ground has a bad condition that's so bad. No, it's just that on this very road you will come across something like it only have he, and it requires you as a driver to slow down, to stay attentive, and a host of others. Now this one is what is false. It says Signale Funato pronuncia un ponte. No, this very sign is a segnale di Dosso. No, questo non è segnale di ponte. The answer is false. Another one again, which is number 2, it says il segnale raffigurato pronuncia lavoro in corso. Now, I want you to understand one thing here. Whenever you come across this very sign, sometimes in a situation whereby you see that where we have this white color, and there is a yellow color here, it means that on this very road they are walking here. Lavoro in corso simply means a place where they are doing some work, making some amendment, or they are trying to reconstruct that particular road. Now, whenever you see anything like yellow here, it's saying that on this very road, or in 150 meters away from this very sign, you may miss some set of people's walking. Now, and if you look at the sign here, there is nothing like yellow here. So for that reason, it's false. Another one again says, il segnale raffigurato pronuncia ingresso di un galleria. Un galleria is underground. You understand? Underground, a road whereby an underground road. So this one is not talking about that. It's talking about homes. So the answer is falso. In presenza di segnale raffigurato è necessario moderare la velocità in relazione alla visibilità. Now, he's trying to tell you that in this presence of these signs, whenever you come across this very sign, you as a driver, so it's necessary for you to what? To let your velocity to be moderate. In other words, it's very advisable for you as a driver to make sure that you reduce your speed based on the condition of the view of that very road. And the answer is true, vero. He said, in presenza del segnale raffigurato è vietato invasione di marcia. Now, and he's trying to tell you that this very road, whenever you come across this very thing, it's forbidding you as a driver to make a U-turn or to reverse. During our lesson, we made mention of this. That on this very road, you as a driver, you are not what? You are not permitted. You are not allowed to make what? Invasione di what? Di marcia. Look at it here. Vietata invasione di marcia. It's forbidden for you to overtake. And the answer is what? Is vero. Number 16. He said, in presenza di segnale raffigurato, sono vietata la sosta e la fermata sia sul tratto in salita che su quale in discesa. È vero. In this very road, you as a driver, you are not permitted to what? To sosta. To sosta simply means to park. Take note of this word, sosta. Sosta simply means to park. Fermata simply means to stop. On this very road that has this condition, you as a driver, you are not permitted to what? To stop or to park. And the answer is what? Is vero. Number 17. He said, in presenza di segnale raffigurato è vietato il sorpasso su tratto in salita se la strada è doppio senso di circolazione con due sole corsie. Now, he's trying to say that in this very road, you as a driver, is forbidden for you to what? To overtake. In a situation whereby this road have a what? A double lane. Doppio senso di circolazione con due solo corsie. If the road is in double lane, a situation whereby you are driving and there is another motor coming out of front, you are not what? Permitted to overtake. But if the road is senso unico, you are permitted to overtake. And this very answer, he said, vietato sorpasso tratto is what? Is vero. Another one again, he said, il segnale raffigurato è un segnale di pericolo. È vero. Because this very sign is a sign of danger. So, another one again, say, number 19, say, il segnale raffigurato può presignare dosso artificiale. Now, if you look at the word artificial, it simply means what? Artificial. This very road that has this very situation is a he. This he is not an artificial. It's normal he. So during our explanation, we never come across something like this, that this road is an artificial he. So for that reason, this one is what is falso. He said, il segnale raffigurato vieta il transito dei autobus. This road does not forbid any transit of any car or any type of vehicles. Any vehicle can transit on the road, on this very road. So we are saying that it only forbids overtaking. It only forbids fermata, and it only forbids sosta. So it did not forbid, categories of vehicles. So he says in Arifugata vieta transito degli autobus. Bus can transit on this very road. It does not forbid it. So, and for that reason, it is falso. So, number 21, he said, in presenza del segnale raffigurato è vietato il sorpasso nel tratto in discesa. In presenza del segnale raffigurato è vietato il sorpasso nel tratto in discesa. So he said, on this very sign of road, is forbidden whenever you are on this road So by climbing the hill, if you are coming down, which is the chaser, he said it's forbidden for you to overtake. Not really, it's not forbidden, but it's only forbidden when the road is what is Doppler sensor. But if the road is sensor unico, you are permitted to overtake, and which is faster. Number 22, he said il segnale del figurato è il segnale di obbligo. This very sign is not a sign of obbligo, it's a sign of what? Of pericolo, which means what? A falso. He said number 23, he said in presenza di segnale raffigurato è possibile effettuare invasione di marcia nella tratto in discesa. Whether in salita or discesa, on this particular road, you as a driver, you are not permitted to what? To overtake or to make a U-turn. So the answer is what? Is false, because you are not permitted. So the other one, the last one, which is number 24, he said il segnale raffigurato è un segnale di prudenza. No, it's not a segnale di prudenza. It's a segnale di pericolo. So, which makes it what? False. Now, let's look at it to know which word one error make it a one error. So let's check why is it like that.